Hey everybody, how you doing? Joe McCall here, and on this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things I used to say no to, but now I say yes to, all right? Now in the next video after this, I'm going to share with you the 5 things I used to say yes to that I now say no to, all right? You ready? All right, again, so I'm going to share with you the 5 things I used to say no to, but now I say yes to. So after doing investing now for probably 10 to 12 years, I've got a little experience under my belt. I've seen the market go up. I've seen it crash. I've seen it go up again. But you know what? I think you might learn something from this because it's really important. The first thing I used to say no to that I understand now is super critically important is I used to say no to managing my leads in a CRM. For some reason, I was just afraid of technology. I was afraid of what a CRM could do or whatnot. And my coach, I remember him hammering it down into me. You need a CRM, you need a database to manage all your leads. And I thought, well, I'm not getting a ton of leads. I can manage it. I was at the time using pen and paper, and I had a yellow pad, and I would tear off sheets and put them in different notebooks or folders, But I started to I don't know what to call it, like the Post-it note syndrome, right? I started getting everything on Post-it notes and on yellow pads of paper, and I was talking to one seller, and then I didn't have my yellow pad with me, so I'd use another yellow pad. And pretty soon I had multiple pads of paper, Post-it notes strewn everywhere, and I finally learned the importance of having a CRM. So it doesn't matter what you're using, if you're using a spreadsheet, if you're using Podio, if you're using what I like, REI Simple, Freedom Soft, whatever it is, right? You need to have a CRM to manage your leads. And the earlier you start doing that, the better. The other thing that's really important to understand that I used to say no to, but now I'm dead serious about, you need somebody to manage your books. You need a bookkeeper, you need an accountant to do your taxes. I thought I could do it on my own. I thought I could manage it on my own, but that was a big mistake, all right? Here's the bottom line. When it comes to business, if you don't know your numbers, you do not have a real business. So you need to know your numbers, and chances are you're not the person to do that. You need to hire somebody outside your business to manage your books. You need to learn how to manage your cash flow. That is so important. Get somebody to do your QuickBooks. Get somebody to go and track all of your money, your numbers, and guess what? You need to pay Uncle Sam, right? So you need somebody that can take aside some of that money that you're making and set aside some to pay your taxes. So important. I want to recommend a really good book to you, by the way, that's related to all of this. It's called Profit First. That is probably one of the most important books you can ever read for your real estate investing business. Profit First. Get your hands on that book. Not just read it, but implement it. And you'll know what I'm talking about. The other thing I used to say no to, but now I say yes to, is hiring a local assistant. Now, for years, I've had virtual assistants, and even when I was first getting started out, I had a virtual assistant before I quit my job. I had a friend in San Diego who was encouraging me at the time to hire a local assistant, and I thought, I can't afford it, right? It's not gonna. I can get a virtual assistant to do it. Now, I still have virtual assistants. But something happened when I hired my first local assistant. Her name is Dana. She's still with me. And she's not even local anymore. She lives in Florida. I'm in St. Louis. My income and productivity tripled. And I don't know what it was. It was just like having somebody, and I actually rented an office for a period of time. Later, she started working from home. But having somebody based in the United States that could do my business for me, run my operation for me, that I could sit down and share things with her, give her things to do, train her how to do things. It was a game changer for me, right? And you may not be in that place now with your business if you're just getting started out where you can afford a local assistant, but I would tell you as soon as you can, hire one. Now, here's what I did that dramatically changed everything. I had her manage my virtual assistants. So at the time, I was trying to manage all these different virtual assistants, and I was really struggling. When I got her to manage them, now I only had one person to communicate with. And she understood really well what I was trying to do, and she was able to manage my team for me. So I would recommend as soon as you can, hire a local assistant to help you with your business. They don't have to be in an office, right? But get a local assistant that can help you. The fourth thing that I would say yes to now that I used to say no to is I would start spending serious money on marketing, right? I've talked about this a lot. We're not in the real estate investing business. We are in the marketing business. The most important investment for you and your business is marketing. And at the beginning, I was really timid. I was afraid to spend a lot of money on marketing. You know, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't get the number of leads that I need? What am I going to do? When I actually started seriously taking marketing seriously and deciding to go big or go home, I'm going to go big and start directing email. It wasn't until I started taking that marketing seriously and investing money into it that I started really exploding my business and started doing a lot of deals. So I would tell myself back then, don't be afraid to spend money on marketing. It's not an expense, it's an investment. It's one of the most important investments you can make in your business. Marketing is most critical. You need to be spending as much money as you can on marketing. The sooner, the better. You know, it could be direct mail. It could be PPC ads, Facebook ads. It could be just hiring cold callers or whatnot, right? But take marketing seriously. Spend more money on marketing. The final thing I would say that I say yes to now that I would said no to before, it's kind of weird. I don't know if you're going to agree with this or not, but it's tithing. It's being generous with my time and my resources, right? I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, right? And a lot of you guys know that. But there is a real spiritual principle that I think applies to everybody, whether you are religious or not. And it's this principle of being generous. And a lot of you guys, you know, maybe you do go to church or whatnot, or wherever you go, and you maybe already give some of your money to the poor, to your church or whatever. But this sounds kind of weird, and I don't want to make it sound kind of weird or whatnot. But there's this real thing that happens when the more generous you are, and the more consistent and regular you are with giving away things, the more it comes back to you, and the more you become blessed, right? It's amazing how well it works, and I can track back in my last 10 years or so when I was not consistent with my tithe to my church, when I wasn't consistent with giving away. We give above and beyond our tithe, right? When I wasn't doing that, my business suffered. I don't know how to explain this, but I think it's a real spiritual principle. It's also, I think, probably a natural law that happens in the world, in the universe. The more you sow, the more you reap, right? When you plant seeds, you're going to reap a harvest. And I just want to encourage you to think about that. I want to challenge you to maybe consider that. One of my favorite books that I've ever read, it's called The Blessed Life. It's written by a guy named Robert Morris. I think that's his name. It's called Blessed Life, right? Go get that book and read it. There's another really good book called The Go-Giver. That's an excellent book. You should really read it. And I would just challenge you to start thinking more about that, right? Give 10%, right? Above and beyond that, whether it's time or resources, just volunteering for stuff, volunteering in the community or at your church. But don't be so selfish. Like, I think what it is like, it's easy to want to be a hoarder and to be really greedy and like keep everything tight-chested. The secret to prosperity and success in business and in life is to have an open hand and to be generous and give away, right? So I want to encourage you to tithe. I want to encourage you to give more of your money and your resources to people that need it, the less fortunate, the poor, local houses of worship, and all of that good stuff. All right? So those are the 5 things that I would say yes to now that I used to say no to. And the next video I'm going to share with you the things that I would say no to now that I used to say yes to. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys. Oh, hey, real quick. You want my book? You should get this book. It's called Wholesaling Lease Options. This is a book I wrote just within the last 6 to 8 months, and it's about how I quit my job doing lease options. You can get it for free, so go get it at WLObook.com, WLObook.com. Just pay shipping and handling. We'll send it out to you. It's a book that teaches how I quit my job back in 2009, so 10, 12 years ago, depending on when you're watching this, and how I quit my job just flipping lease options. You're going to get a lot out of it. It's a good book, all killer, no filler, as I like to say. Go to WLObook.com. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next video.